Jeez, how fast were their games? that is crazy. We started first and our games weren't too long, but we are jumping in mid-series and apparently we're jumping into game 4. We have had a back and forth, which we did expect between these two, but these have been some really fast games. And here we go, we're jumping into game 4 between our two Terran players and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Percival. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran leading the series 2-1. For Team Falcons, it is Bunny. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And again, that's crazy. They had some much faster games. I mean, it's a TvT, so I'm sure Proxy Raxes were involved in some way, shape, or form in early game aggression. But here we go. We're jumping in mid-series, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Play show bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Of course, Bunny has the edge. Bunny has the advantage, but Percival already making a series out of this. Again, he's not going down without a fight, and he can force the ace match for sure. Ooh, okay, couple things. Bunny going double gas. Double gas means faster factory, delayed CC, faster Hellion production, more importantly. Meanwhile, Percival going 2 racks, Reaper back at home. What's happening here is that this is meant to be a hard counter to proxy 2 racks. And I feel like, especially because of how fast these games have been, there's probably been some proxies. There's probably been some shenanigans in the series already. So Percival trying to hard counter a proxy. Meanwhile, Bunny playing safe. Bunny does play safe, going for that faster factory. With this, Percival, he can still make use of this army, even though this is designed to shut down proxies and shut down aggression. He can still make use of this across the map. He can still try to catch out the first Reaper of Bunny. It is still possible. We'll see what Percival can accomplish. Let's go. See, what is that? True. True. As Reaper dips in. Oh. Likewise, Bunny here to punch, and already the first Reaper going to be going down. No shot. Oh, no. Percival here extends, and this is a rough start for Percival. That should not have happened, considering he opened up 2 racks Reaper to lose the first one already. Ay. Not like this. As Bunny does shoot first. Likewise pokes in, pulls away. Percival behind this, now going to be expanding. Bunny's already on location. Faster CC. And Bunny pulls back. He pulls back to the safety of his Hellion. As building up his Hellions, likewise so is Percival. Going Reaper Hellion. Building up his Reaper Hellion. Now Percival does pull away. He does pull back. Bunny building up back at home and going for his own Cyclone production into drop play. Okay, let's go. So again, because the faster factory means faster starport, the faster tech here from Bunny. Bunny's in a better position. He's up in workers, faster CC, so faster tech, faster economy. Bunny's all over this. Comes down to the engage though, as Percival does have the higher Reaper count. So far trading well. From here, do we pull the boys? Oh, the Reapers, they line up. No, they do line up. The Heli Voids are brutal, and with that, Bunny, he holds, he defends, he shuts down the Reapers, he forces Percival back. And Percival, he bleeds out far too much there. He's forced back home. Bunny, he gains map control. Likewise, a faster tank production for Bunny as well. Percival making defensive cyclones. Oh! As Bunny does catch out the final Reapers. Reapers are cleaned up. Do you benefit if I watch YouTube, if I have YouTube Premium? Yes, I believe YouTube Premium does help benefit those that you watch. I believe that's how YouTube Premium works. As Bunny does bust into the natural. Oh! Does bust in. Likewise going for the mineral line. The heli modes are brutal here, but Percival, he will hold. Again, the double cyclone paying off. Takes down the medevac. So on the one hand, he does defend, he does survive, but at the cost of 5 SCVs. And Percival, he was already behind economically, now even more so. Down 8 workers compared to Bunny. Down 8 workers, now CC's on the way. Bunny getting further ahead economically. Building up his tank count. Now the advantage that Percival has is he's actually going for faster stim. Interesting. He's going for a 2-1-1 faster stim timing. Building up his marines, getting ready for drop play. Yeah, my attention is building up. You know, Bunny just being more defensive here. After the early game, after the aggression, he's just turtling up, setting up his siege lines, getting his 3rd TC, saturating his bases. And so far, Bunny's secure. Bunny is ahead. At this one, he is ahead. The pressure right now is on Percival to try to recover in some way. Aye, aye, aye. As so far, order starts into the main. Catching out 3 SCVs. Bunny, he did research Interference Matrix, so that will also benefit him in the main fight. As Percival going for the drop. Now remember, what is Percival's advantage? Stim. Like, he has stim over his opponents, he has a massive amount of bio, which means he can try to break a siege line. He has potential. Back in the main, 2 tanks in the main base, 1 tank here at the natural. Sorry, 2 tanks as well. Jesus. The spread is brutal. Percival looking for a way in, looking for a dive. Rotating over. Boosting into the main, also boosting in the center, I should say. The boys are being pulled. He's getting some of the tanks. The first tank is within range, and the first tank is going to go down, but that's going to be a lot of dead SCVs. Oh my god. 21 workers going down. And Bunny, he will hold, but at a cost. Whew. 22 SCVs. Aye, aye, aye. And just like that, in one fell swoop, Percival, he does take a worker lead. Now, Bunny has triple mule production, he has triple SCV production, as he has a faster orbital. But pretty nice damage here, but there was a bit of a give and take. Yes, did kill so many workers, so nice damage by Percival, but what I'm concerned by, look at the tank count, look at the tank disparity. We have 1 tank for Percival, 6 for Bunny. Like Bunny's main army is terrifying. He has a massive army supply lead. So when Bunny breaks out, when he pushes, he's gonna hit hard. Yes, he has to recover economically. He lost a lot of workers, that is true. But again, that tank count, that main army composition is insane. And Percival, he has to be ready for it. Now, ideally, Percival was able to potentially catch some of these tanks on siege, catch some of this army as Bunny moves out, or even go for a backstab and force Bunny back home to delay the push, to buy some time to build up more Marines and build up some defenses. As Percival, he's moving out. He's not pre-sieged. Percival gets spotted. Bunny slowly expanding. Does expand, does claim a 3rd. Like, currently, there's no way for Percival to actually surpass the tank count or even catch up to the tank count of Bunny, because they're both making 1 tank at a time. So because they're making 1 tank at a time, I mean, how do you catch up? Outside of catching some tanks, of course. Percival. Again, just trying to spread out, trying to find a way in. That's the Sable. Sable goes off, he sims. Yeah, does go for the dive, but Bunny, he has plenty to work with here. Order starts on the right, Marines, I see him on the left. And Bunny, he breaks that tank line, takes down the first tank, takes down the second, takes out all 3. And now it's go time. Now it's time to counterattack. Bunny has a massive supply lead. Here comes the unsiege, here comes the push. At the same time, Percival going for a backstab, but 1 tank was left behind. Likewise, dropping into the main. But there are reinforcements to defend. And Bunny, he holds back at home. At the same time, does break out, so does move out across the map. What do we have to defend? We have one tank. One tank. And remember, they're disables. But now just going for auto charts. Boys are being pulled. And Bunny sims in. GG gets called. Bunny will overwhelm, and Bunny will qualify for the EWC Esports World Cup Asia Closed Qualifier. GG. Oh, GG, well played. Congratulations here, Bunny. He will claim the series. He'll be the second player to qualify. Will make it through. GG, well played. And my condolences to Percival. Again, he did make a series out of this, and even in this game, he had some nice moments for himself, that is true, but a rough start. The reality is he had a really rough start when it came to the opener, when it came to falling behind, and when it came to the tank-based composition. He went for a 2-1-1 follow-up, which had potential, which did do a lot of economic damage, but remember, he lost 2 tanks in the process, and he was never quite able to recover army-wise. Sure, he had some Marines, but again, when it comes to the tank out, when it comes to the supportive units, that's where he was struggling. GG, well played. With that, Bunny did snowball out of control, and with that, Bunny qualifies for the closed qualifier. GG, well played. And from here, where are we headed? Where are we going? Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the back of yourselves. Let us refresh and catch up. Bam, here we go. Okay, from the top we have Rogue versus Lunacy still ongoing, still mid-series, as again they were a little bit later to begin. They're currently facing off in that best of 5. Young, of course, did already qualify for the closed qualifier. Scrolling down, Bunny, he of course just qualified for the qualifier as well. He has made it through, and we still have Creator versus SOS ongoing. They're currently 6 minutes into their game, and they're currently mid-series. Our hope here, our goal is to wait for one of these matches to open up, and then you just jump in. Whether it's Rogue versus Lunacy or Creator versus SOS, at this point we're just waiting to catch the tail end of any one of these matches. That is the plan. Let's go. That is going to be the plan here. If you remember, I mentioned how Percival and Bunny, they play so often. I was joking about how they played so often this month, specifically in GSL qualifiers and in other tournaments. Rex even confirming that they played in qualifier number 1 as well. So, there you go. They do play so often, so often. Here we go. Percival's hair is incredible. Don't you dare smear his name. 100%. Percival hair, it's beautiful, baby. It's luscious. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. It's so luscious. It's catching up. Right, I have an important question. In what ways are you opposite to Dark? One, I have no, I lack the facial hair. Oh no, I lack Dark's goatee. I lack his goatee. Also, he's good at the game. I'm not at all, papi, not at all. Smooch. We are both animals though. That is true. Both animals. Here we go. Blindly put streamer can't set up delay. Can't cast competitive rules. Yeah. True. But yes, we do have a delay. Exclamation mark delay in the chat. 2 minutes. 2 minute delay. Unfortunately, as it makes it more difficult to react to the chat, but it's all good. Poor Percival. But with that, we do have some downtime here. Yeah, we have some downtime. We are waiting for creators or for our matches to open up, and then we'll jump in. Then we'll jump into either one of those matches. Otherwise, I guess we have some downtime. We have some downtime. So we're going to be going on a short break. And when we return, we'll have our next series. Potentially, of course, for all we know, they could be in their final games. They could be in a game 5 or even a 3-0 setup here. So we'll be back and we'll let you know what's happening, what's going on. I guess we can go over a little bit as to the players that are already through. I guess we could go over that. Hold on. Yeah. Just setting that up. Some people are already discussing it, and I mean, we're going to go through this anyway once we do wrap up the qualifier. But we did miss out on Qualifier 1. We mentioned this earlier, but it was a bit of a shame that Qualifier 1, unfortunately, we were stuck patching. We were stuck patching the game, so we just could not cast. We were there. We were locked outside of the server, and we wanted in. And for 2 hours, we were patching the game. It was so sad. I still feel bad about it. So as a result, no one casted the Qualifier. But bam, there we go. This was Qualifier 1. This was yesterday. Qualifier 1. Unfortunately, again, we didn't get to cast any of this. We were here. The stream was live, and we were just having like a countdown downloader stream. We were just looking at the patch downloading over 2 hours. And we got there at the end, and we just casted the Asia Qualifier because this already ended by then. But Björn did actually. Can I zoom in a little bit? Yeah, we can look at the qualifying matches. So yeah, Björn did qualify over Ryung 3-0. Big win there for Björn. Again, this was in yesterday's qualifier. Björn made it through. Zhao took down Rogue 3-2, went all the way to the ace match. Zhao did qualify as well. We had Kior over Creator 3-1, and then we had Gumiho over Bunny 3-1 as well. So this is our first 4 set of players to qualify through, and then we have, of course, today's qualifier featuring Bunny and Ryung already making it through as well. Meanwhile, people were asking earlier about the players that are already seeded into the main event. So far, these are the current players through. Oh, that's a lot of Terrans. Oh my god. I mean, it's Korea. It's the land of Terran. True. Especially in current StarCraft. But some people were asking earlier about who's invited into EWC, who won't have to play here. As a reminder, the top 4 at DreamHack Dallas were Classic, Maru, Shin, and Solar. So those 4 players are already through. They don't have to worry about the qualifiers. And remember, Hero was the Season 1 GSL champion, so Hero also got a seed as well. So that's why there are certain players that are missing, like our 2 main Zerg players in Shin and Solar. They're already through. Likewise, Maru's already through. Classic's already through. Hero's already through. A lot of the Koreans are already seeded and invited directly into the Esports World Cup. And we mentioned this earlier, but just to reiterate, this also does mean that it is that much more brutal here for the European scene, just because I think everyone expected at least several to have a deeper run at DreamHack Dallas, at least several to have a deeper run to be able to like at least take that slot, so then to make it a little bit easier for the Europeans to make it through. But alas, that's not the case. At least Clem, of course, is the reigning champion, and Clem, he's got a seed directly in, but none of the Europeans got a seed at DreamHack Dallas, so that does make the European qualifier even more brutal. Here we go. So the European qualifiers, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's like a qualifier with Showtime, with Cyril, with Rainer, with only 2 spots available as well, with all the others like Skillus, Gabe, Spirit. Like it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. Meanwhile, I think we have an update. Lunacy just got out of game. Lunacy and Rogue, they just got out of game. And so did SOS and Creator. Alright, who's open? Who's available? Oh, okay, we just got an update. Here, and Creator, he takes down SOS 3-0. So Creator, he does now qualify for the EWC Esports World Cup Korea closed qualifier. So Creator, he just 3-0'd SOS, and we just got another update. It looks like Rogue did take down Lunacy 3-0. So 3-0, Rogue makes it through. 3-0, Creator makes it through. Then of course we have our 3-1 scoreline by Bunny, and of course our 3-0 by Ryung. So we have our confirmed players, we have our confirmed matchups. Oh, let's go. So with that, congratulations here to Creator, to Bunny, to Ryung, and to Rogue as well. We have our 4 players making it through the qualifier, and that will secure our top 8. That does mean that for Protoss, it is going to be Zaun alongside Creator. For Zerg, it's going to be Rogue on his own, and for Terran, it's going to be Bunny, Byun, Kyor, Gumiho, and Ryung. What did I miss on? Rogue, Ryung, Bunny, Creator. Yeah. There you go. So that is going to be updated. Now, when it comes to seeding this bracket, and when it comes to the closed qualifier, there are 2 players. 2 players will qualify through the closed qualifier into EWC, and that is going to be played out tomorrow in less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours, we are going to be live with the closed qualifier. We're going to be covering it here on the channel, of course, just like we cast everything, by the way. So we are going to be all over this bracket, all over this qualifier. We will be there. Likewise, is also going to be the mainstream, and there might be some other streamers as well, right? It's like, I'm a little bit surprised, but for both qualifier 1 and 2, no one else casted. To be fair, right, like the NA boys, it's a bad time for them. For the European casters, I guess it's a bad time for them. I guess. What time is it in Europe? What time do the Europeans wake up? Hold on. It's midday. You can't wake up at 11 a.m. to cast? I don't know. So I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that we were the only ones for both Korean qualifiers. But what I will say is that there's going to be a mainstream for at least the closed qualifier. So there's going to be at least 2 casts. It's going to be us and the mainstream. I believe the mainstream is going to be Pig and State. I think they're going to be covering it. So Pig and State for the mainstream, and then we'll be there for like the B stream essentially. Now, when it comes to the closed qualifier and how it works, for those that weren't here for the Asia qualifier or for the Americas qualifier, the mainstream has priority. So once we see the bracket, once we have confirmation, the mainstream, they will pick what they want, and then we'll be able to pick from there. So we won't have first say or first dibs, but I'm sure there's going to be some amazing matches available to us as well. There's probably going to be a lot of TvTs. It's probably going to be a lot of Terran versus Terran. But honestly, like currently in the meta on TvT is a lot of fun. TvT can be very dynamic, very aggressive, especially depending on the players, especially the Koreans, right? Like if we throw in like Spirit, then sure, right, it can be a little bit slower, for example. But TvT, as you saw in Percival versus Bunny, can be very aggressive, very dynamic, especially involving players like Gumiho, like Bunny, like Byun as well. Some much more active and aggressive players can make for a lot of fun. Likewise, Zaun and Creator, they will have their work cut out for them when it comes to making it through as well, and Rogue alongside them as well. So yeah, it's going to be an intense bracket, intense qualifier. Best of luck to everyone involved. And again, we'll be there tomorrow for that closed qualifier alongside the mainstream. Meanwhile, the next broadcast on the channel is going to be the European qualifier. Actually, you know what? Let's have a look together, because I'll be honest, I haven't actually looked at the bracket. I haven't seen it yet. I'm assuming it's seeded already, right? Okay, so from the top, tonight at 2 a.m. AST, that is going to be in 5 hours. In 5 hours time, we're going to be live with the European closed qualifier, and you can see the difference between the European and the Korean scene. Korean scene, we had all the Terrans. Here, we have all the Protoss, and we have a good amount of Zerg, to be fair. Like, I'm used to seeing like maybe 3 Zerg players, but no, we got some decent Zerg representation, mainly Protoss, of course, and a little bit of Terran. Coming into this, we got Fire, Geralt, Goblin, Christiana, Mana, Showtime, Skilless, and Strange. From the side of Protoss, we have a Gabe and Spirit for the side of Terran, and we have a Laser, Lambo, Raynor, Cyril, Wayne, and Young Yakov from the side of Zerg. Scrolling down, let's have a look at our bracket here. Now, just like what I mentioned, there's going to be the mainstream. They get first priority, and then we get to pick from there. So we don't know what they're going to be covering yet. What do we have? We have Cyril versus Fire facing off in a ZVP. We have Christiana. Ooh, Christiana versus Mana in the first round. Yo, who seeded the bracket? What do I mean by that? If you're watching our channel, again, we casted everything. We casted all the qualifiers. We casted all the European qualifiers as well. And for those that remember, in day one, here, qualifier 1 of the European qualifiers, we casted this PvP. We casted Christiana versus Eva, we casted Mana versus Cheating Machine, and we casted this Mana and Christiana. They went all the way to the A smash. They already played in the qualifier. We did cover this. You can see our VODs are here. And Christiana did take down Mana 3-2. Did bring him down. It was very close. It was very clutch. Again, Mana, he was up 2-0. Mana, he almost 3-0'd. Like, Tokamak was a really rough game for Christiana. Remember, he was messaging me saying that, like, he after Percival, he was like, he was so down about it. He was like, yo, I'm not playing well. Like, I'm playing like trash. Like, I'll do my best tomorrow. Like Christiana, he was smoging after game 2. Like, no, you got this, Papi. Like, we believe it. We have faith. We have faith in the Christiana, Papi. And then he had a crazy comeback on Tokamak. This is the game where he had the base trade. We had a base trade, and Mana was late to the base trade. And after that, Christiana, he was very thankful. He was like, oh, thank you for having faith in me, Papi. Thank you. And then he popped off. Then he popped off. He pulled off the reverse sweep in the best of 5. And now they're playing again. They're playing again. That's crazy. Scrolling down, we have Spirit versus Goblin in a TvP. We have Gabe versus Geralt. Oh, that's another qualifying match, right? Gabe and Geralt? Am I crazy? Yeah. Wait, hold on. Wait, did they just... Like, I'm remembering these matches. I'm like, hold on. We casted this as well. Gabe and Geralt? I said we casted. I remember we were waiting to jump in, but then the series ended. I think, if I remember correctly, they were the last series to finish, Gabe and Geralt. But they already played as well up here. Guys, what's going on? Like, we're just rerunning the qualifiers. Oh my god. So we have Gabe versus Geralt. Hold on. Hold on. Lambo versus a laser. Hold on. I've seen that before. Qualify 1. Bam. What's that? What? It's just what's that? They're just the rematches. Who seeded this? It's all happening again. The deja vu. Let's keep going. Oh my god. Hold on. Skilless versus Strange. I've seen that before. Hold on. Okay. I have seen it before. Not here. Am I crazy? Did I not see? Okay, there it is. Strange. I did see it before. If you remember, there was a misreport. I believe in this qualifier, I believe there was a misreport that Strange 2-0'd Milky Cow, and Strange was up against Skilless here on the bracket, and then they fixed it. But I remember there was a misreport, and I remember seeing Strange versus Skilless, and I remember being like, yo, that's a big win for Strange. Okay. So we're in a different timeline. Milky Cow did get the 2-0 over Strange. Okay. There you go. And so that almost happened. Almost happened. But winding it back here. So we have some ZVZs, Raynor, Young Yakov, Lambo Laser, Showtime, Wayne, Skilless, and Strange. What series calls out to me? I mean, part of me would actually want to jump back into Christiana and Mana. Like, again, like they went all the way to the ace match up here. Like, it was really close. It was really close between them. It was really clutch. It was a lot of fun. So tempting. But at the same time, I know that mirror matchups don't really track well with like viewers. Like, a lot of people don't really enjoy ZVZ, TvT, or PvP. They prefer other matchups, which is understandable completely. Cyril versus Fire is looking really good right now. If you've been watching Fire, if you've been watching the CranKy Ducklings, you'll know currently Fire, his best matchup is PvP. Did he qualify with a PvP? Is that how he qualified? I'm pretty sure that's how he made it through, right? Let's see. Because in my mind, his best matchup is Protoss versus Protoss. Yeah, here, Jimmy. Yeah, here he 2-0'd Sebestis and he 3-0'd Jumi. Like this is his matchup. Like if you like, we casted Arifire, he beat Skillus. He beat Skillus not too long ago. He beat Geralt. Here he beat Jumi. Like this straight up is his strongest matchup. So Arifire, he's on fire in PvP. I would say that his other matchups are a little bit lacking, including his PvT and PvZ. I think his PvZ might be his weakest right now. So best of luck to Arifire, but of course Cyril's going to be a dominant favorite there. Spirit versus Goblin. Goblin, in my mind, hasn't been playing too much recently. He's been playing a lot of 2v2s, obviously. He's been playing a lot of team games, but we'll see what happens there. Best of luck to Goblin. Gabe versus Geralt. Again, that's going to be a rematch for what happened earlier. Geralt has some killer late game PvT. We've seen Geralt take down Cure and Bjorn in the late game, but in the early to mid game, that's where Gabe thrives. So it's going to be interesting. ZVZ between Reynor and Young Yakov. ZVZ between Lambo and Laser. Honestly, these ZVZs look like a lot of fun to me, but you know, I enjoy all matchups. And I know, and in my mind, these are going to be very aggressive. Maybe Lambo and Laser is going to be a little bit more standard, but yeah, it's going to be a very dynamic set of ZVZs. Showtime versus Wayne. It does look like fun. Skills versus Strange as well. Does look like fun as well. I'm not too sure. I guess in my mind, I kind of want to see Spirit and Goblin, I think. I'm most intrigued by Goblin's form right now to see how he looks and how he competes, how he compares. Otherwise, Showtime versus Wayne, I feel like could be an intriguing matchup as well. But it all depends on what the mainstream cover, right? Depends on what the mainstream decide to jump into. Only two, so yeah, only two. Just catching up. All right, sorry, I was a little bit engrossed in everything, but thank you so much for the subscription, Gijoens. I got Papi 79. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for subscribing for the first time with a tier 1 sub. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Thank you for the channel commentary. Thank you for enjoying the broadcast and for subscribing as well. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. To chlorine light. Oh no. But yeah. So this is gonna be tonight's matches. Are going to be underway. Now, likewise, as a reminder, this is going to be a 2-day event. Specifically for the European qualifier, it's going to be 2 days. And I'm trying to figure out, where does day 2 start? It looks like this is going to be the first half. Today's broadcast is going to be this upper bracket round 1 and upper bracket round 2. Then lower bracket round 1 and lower bracket round 2. I believe the rest of the qualifier will be tomorrow. So half today, half tomorrow, 2-day event, because the close qualifier is so much larger, so much bigger. And again, depending on what we cover, it will mainly depend on what the mainstream covers. I can see the mainstream going for a Spirit Goblin or Showtime Wayne. Maybe Gabe Geralt, but those in my mind are the matches that stand out, mainly because they're not mirror matchups, and also because they're a little bit closer in regards to the player skill as well, regarding like Cyril versus Arifire. So we'll see. When it comes to who's casting, I don't know personally. I do know that State and Pig have been covering the Asia and most likely the Korea qualifiers. Steadfast and BMO for doing the Americas one. For Europe, I would imagine maybe Wardy and Loco, or like Rotterdam and Wardy, or like Rotterdam and Loco. Like a combination of the three. Like in my mind, especially because Loco did DreamHack Dallas and Wardy did DreamHack Dallas, it's probably going to be between Loco, Wardy, and Rotterdam. So a combination of them in some way will probably be all over this. I'm a little bit surprised that Zombrigub didn't cast NA. That was a surprise to me. Because I feel like Zombrigub's very much so ingrained and was covering Dallas, covering Dallas as well. So that was a little bit surprising. But yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see who covers tonight. And for now, we're going to be going and I'm going to get some sleep. So again, this is you can see here 5 hours. 5 hours time is going to be the European qualifier. I'm going to try to get at least 4 hours sleep. Let's go. I'm going to sleep as much as I can, and then bam, we're going to be live with the European qualifier. And then how many hours after that? So let me just double check. Then 12 hours after the start of the European qualifier, and the European qualifier is probably going to last like maybe 4 or 5 hours. After that, bam, the May Mayhem. For those that are curious, what is the May Mayhem? May Mayhem has been an event going throughout all of May. We're actually the last day of May actually right now, but it's been going through all of May, and the May Mayhem was featuring 6 players. It was a group stage, round robin group stage. It was 3 Koreans and 3 Europeans. It was, oh, can I get them off the top of my head? For the Europeans, it was Max, Showtime, and Clem. So Max, Showtime, Clem. For the Koreans, it was Cure, Shin, and Hero. That's it. Cure, Shin, Hero, Showtime, Max, and Clem. They all faced off in the round robin, and now we have the playoffs. They've already played through. Who didn't make it through into the playoffs? Cure and Shin. Cure and Shin, they got knocked out. So it's going to be 3 Protoss. It's going to be Hero, Showtime, and Max, alongside Clem as well. So those are going to be the playoffs, and we're going to be covering that. And again, that's going to be 12 hours after the start of EWC Europe. And I'm hoping that I can get at least 4 hours sleep in between that as well. So I'm going to try and get as much sleep as I can in between that, because right after the May Mayhem, bam, 5 hours after the May Mayhem, we have the Esports World Cup Korea qualifier, the closed qualifier. So I probably won't be able to sleep in between the May Mayhem and in between the Korean qualifier. It's probably going to be one straight into the other, back to back. So I need to sleep in between EU and May Mayhem. That's going to be the plan. So I'm just trying to structure out my intermittent sleep schedule, like my blocks of 4 hours sleep. So that's gonna be the plan. But regardless, a lot of casting. Again, for those that are curious, for those that maybe are tuning in for the first time, we do cast StarCraft on a daily basis, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a day. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else. We've been casting full time since 2020. So if you're just now tuning in, where have you been all these years? We've been casting full time since 2020, basically since COVID. Like when COVID hit, that's when I did decide to commit to casting every single day, just because before that we were still casting, but like once a week, like once, twice a week sort of thing. Then COVID hit. For those who are curious, I do live with my grandmother. She's very old. She's 96, by the way, and she's healthy, she's good, but especially like when COVID first started, like I didn't want to endanger her. Like she's obviously within, like, you know, age of risk, right? Being that old. So at the time I was like, you know what, let's commit, let's double down, let's cast full time, let's go for it, papi. That was of course when EPT was confirmed for 3 years. So again, we've been casting full time since then, and it's been a little bit shaky since then, in the sense that especially this last year without EPT, it's like, oh, there's a little bit less certainty when it comes to the future of StarCraft and things like that. But of course, we have been passionate and committed for as long as we have been, for as long as we can be, and we'll continue to be as well. We'll continue to cast as much as we can. Again, our schedule is very, very busy, bearing in mind that this month, coming into June, we also have Star Zagora, and we have the Home Story Cup as well, Philadelphia. We also have the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, like we have LATAM League as well. There's just so much content. Again, so much StarCraft. We cast all the time, non-stop. We cast more than any other channel. We cast more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than anyone else. We do all the content, we have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality. But you know what we do have as well? We have the passion. We have the passion, papi. With that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys in 5 hours for the European qualifier. Until then, ciao. Hasta luego, papi. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.